What up, IDS Mob? Welcome to the Introvert Dating Success Show. I'm your host, HarryWilmington. And on today's show, we're going to be answering a question from a guy that wants to know, A, is game different when you're dating in your 30s versus when you're dating when you're younger? And then secondly, is it okay to be direct with women when you're trying to ask her on a date for the first time? And so we're going to get into that. As always, for more of these shows, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and check out the podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found. Also, guys, be sure to go to the website and check out my program, the Introvert Dating Success Academy. If you are a guy that wants to know the ins and outs of not only how to date better, but how to become the kind of man that a woman's going to want to date long-term and hold on to, then you owe it to yourself to at least check out this program. You can see the sales page and see all what it entails, everything from the videos to the 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching. And if you think that you would qualify for the program, fill out the form. We can set up a one-on-one time to talk, and we will be sure to see if you are a right fit for this program, all right? While you're there, also check out the various ebooks and audiobooks I have as well. And of course, this show is about you guys. If you have a question you want answered on one of these shows, you can either leave a comment down below if you're watching this at youtube.com/HarryWilmington, or you can write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get into this guy's question, and I'll stop along the way to make a few points, all right? So here's what he says. He says, all the dating advice that I see indicates that you need to be funny and have a good opening one-liner, have good text game, etc. Basically all of the BS you do in the teens and 20s to have any hope of getting a date. Is it all the same for 30s daters? I can't imagine most of us want or have time for the young kids' games because we have lives and careers and such now. Okay, so here's the thing. The processes that it's going to take to be able to meet a woman, attract her, be able to talk to her and get her on a date are pretty much the same. The topics of conversation may change, but in terms of the actual mechanics of being able to get a woman on a date, I have found now that I'm 40, as a man that has dated in his teens and 20s and 30s, that the process doesn't change in terms of the stuff that's most effective. But here's the thing. Guys oftentimes have this idea in their head that if they're doing certain things that seem gimmicky or gamey, that it's a bad thing to do. So for example, this guy clearly says, that having a good opening one-liner is like a kid's thing, and therefore it's not a thing he should be having to do in his 30s. Well, realistically, anytime you approach a woman, unless you're going to do a grunt or just like smack her on the butt somehow, you're going to have to say something of some kind to open her up, because most women are not going to come up to you and try to say something. They're going to wait for you to say some kind of thing. Now, where it gets mixed up is men think, oh, great, so I got to come up with some kind of clever line. I have had some of the most boring, mundane openers you could possibly think of. Everything from, hey, what's that drink you're drinking, to, hey, I'm trying to get to a coffee shop. Where do I go? None of those are anything where I'm trying to game the woman or trying to make her think that I'm something different than I am or trying to do whatever, but it is a way to open her up. It's a way to get a conversation going, and you want to be able to have things in your arsenal that you can either do or say that's going to make a woman open up to you in a natural way, okay? So it's not about having to be gimmicky, but you do need to have some stuff that you can say so you won't be nervous, so you won't be anxious, and so you'll be able to realistically go up to a woman and open her up without you freaking out or without saying the wrong thing because you don't have anything planned and then you're chasing her away. Same thing with good text game. I tell you guys all the time, texting kills attraction. And so ideally, your good text game would simply be to text her when you're trying to get a date and nothing else. So even with that, you have to know what good texting actually is. If you have a misconstrued idea of what that's supposed to look like, then you are not going to have success in dating and in texting women, okay? So it's good across the gamut to learn the things you need to do in order to get a woman's attention, in order to keep her attention, and in order to get her on dates. And that is a skill set. I think a lot of guys think that if they try to learn how to do that, that means that they're game playing and that they should just be a natural at it and just know how to do this stuff. Most men do not come out the womb knowing how to date. Most men don't even know how to really properly date until their 20s, okay? And so part of that's because we grew up thinking we should just know how to do it, and then we chastise our own selves if somebody suggests to us at all that we should learn some stuff. But dating is a skill set. Relationships are a skill set. If you don't have the skill, you're not going to keep the woman. And most women have been building this skill set for most of their lives. So they're at an advantage when you go into the dating game. You need to catch up to them by studying this stuff, because while you're not studying and while you're thinking it's all game playing, they're looking at magazines, looking at movies, talking to their girlfriends. They've been having a whole collection of things to go to and people to talk to for their lives about how to allegedly do a relationship. Now, the information that they're getting isn't always right, but the point is at least they have some kind of edge up, okay? You need to have that same advantage. So don't feel bad for learning this stuff. Continuing, he says, my situation is that I finally got this girl's number from my friend after meeting her at a New Year's party, and now I am getting ready to send her an intro text. She is expecting it because she gave my friend permission to give her number to me. My first instinct is to just send something along the lines of, hey, so-and-so, this is so-and-so from the party. I've been trying to get your number for a month now so I could see if you want to get dinner this week. I think it is direct and to the point and doesn't waste anyone's time either way, but someone else told me it was too strong. So what is the, quote, game for 30s dating, and do I actually need to learn it? Okay, so let's first go over his text that he wants to send this lady, okay? So the text he wants to send is, hey, so-and-so, this is so-and-so from the party. I've been trying to get your number for a month now so I could see if you want to get dinner this week. Now, some guys might hear that and think, whoa. Your first date to a woman can't just be, your first text to a woman can't be just asking her for a date. Like, that's too forward. She's going to get scared off. Let me tell you what women's experience is texting. And I say this because I'm a guy who has talked to women, especially like in the online dating sphere, where I've gotten dates and then I go on these dates with women, and more often than not, I'm the first guy that they've gone out with. And when I ask them, why is that? They say, well, because you asked for the date and all these other guys were just talking. And I remember like about 10 years ago or so, this is going to be like a Hollywood type story, so bear with me, okay? But there was a friend of mine who was a backup singer for a very popular neo-soul artist. And this neo-soul artist ended up going on The Tonight Show to perform. So I'm watching The Tonight Show and I see my friend performing. And performing next to my friend was this other woman that I thought was really attractive. She had a nice dress on, she had good curves. I was like, she is my type of woman. And so I text my friend and I said, hey, I saw you on The Tonight Show. Who was the woman that was singing next to you? Because I thought she was kind of cute. And so she wrote me back and said, this is the person and so and so. And I said, okay, great. Could you ask her if it's okay if I reach out to her because I to ask her out? That's essentially what I said to my friend. And so my friend wrote me back and said, she said it's cool to hit her up. The first message I sent this woman was, hey, saw you on The Tonight Show and thought you were really cute. I'd love to take you out sometime when you're back in town. Let me know if you're free this day or this day. That was the first text I sent her. And the response she sent back was, oh, that sounds great. This is when I'm in town. Let's do it. And so we ended up going on a date. And it didn't take me having to do a bunch of conversations. In fact, I think after she wrote me back, I wrote like maybe one or two other things. And then I didn't contact her again until we had our date. Okay? And so I say this to say that there are a lot of you guys that think you have to do all this rapport building. You got to talk to her back and forth incessantly. You got to make sure that you're trying to build up rapport on text and hope that it builds up her feelings, and then that those feelings will equal a massively great date. Okay, but no amount of texting is going to rival being able to meet a woman in person sooner than later to be able to start building up those feelings. Okay, and so in answer to this guy, his text is not bad in terms of being direct, because most women actually appreciate a guy that's able to just come out and say, hey, I'm not trying to BS around. I want to get an actual date. Now, the part where he says he wants to write that I've been trying to get your number for a month now, that part's not really necessary. Obviously, it's been a month, so she can kind of guess that it took a while for you to get the number. But sending something as simple as like, hey, so-and-so, this is so-and-so from the party. Thanks for letting me get your number. I wanted to take you out this week. Let me know what your schedule's like. I'm free on Tuesday and Thursday, whichever works for you. That's it. That's simple. And notice I didn't phrase the date as a question. I didn't say, hey, can you go out? I said, let me know if you're free. I'm available on this day and on this day, whichever works for you. I never phrase when I'm asking a woman out as a question. I always do it in the form of a sentence. It's a psychological thing, but when you ask, you're basically asking for permission, and it can subconsciously feel like begging versus telling somebody, hey, I want to take you out. let me know when you're free. That seems more like, it seems more masculine energy wise in terms of like you being able to tell her, this is what I want to do and we're going to do it, and just let me know when you're available and we'll do this thing. That seems a lot more attractive to women, at least I have found in my personal dating life, than trying to directly ask them a question specifically about, hey, will you go out with me? Like that seems very submissive on your part. And of the two of you, you don't want to look like the submissive one, okay? So learn to phrase your dates as, hey, I want to take you out. Let me know what day you're available, versus asking a question, okay? But as you can see, like, and by the way, that tactic works for any age, whether you're a teenager, whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, whatever. Being direct in what you want with a woman is always going to win you more points than trying to hint at things or trying to ask questions for things, okay? And so that doesn't change across the board, okay? But understand, all these mechanics of how dating works are very, very important to know at any age, because they cross boundaries, okay? Whether you're a 40-year-old that's using texting or you're a 20-year-old using Snapchat, the point is you're still trying to connect with a woman to get her out on a date. The frequency of how much you do that and the way in which you ask them out are always going to be very, very important things. Now, if you don't know what those things are, I implore you to go to introvertdatingsuccess.com, check out some of my eBooks, but definitely check out the Introvert Dating Success Academy, because in that program, I teach you guys all about the ins and outs of how the mechanics of dating works, why certain things psychologically work better when you're trying to get with a woman versus other things, how to handle various things when they come up like arguments, or, trying to know what dates to take on that's going to be most effective. And we talk about how to modify your personal mindset so you can actually get rid of some of those old habits and start doing the right things to be able to change your dating life. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com, check out the sales page, and apply for the program today. All right. Also, if you guys have any questions you want me to answer on one of these shows, write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com, or leave a comment down below if you're watching this on youtube.com/HarryWilmington. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel too, because it helps with the algorithm. All right. Anyway, that's all I got for today's show. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.